All right. Good afternoon, colleagues, and welcome to 2025. 2025. For those who have followed us in previous years, um, you will, you will know that we usually we meet this time for the research tips and tricks. But now we are moving in a somewhat different direction this year. So we'll be taking the place of the tips and tricks for career talks. Career talks. The reasons are from our insight, the intelligence we have generated. We see that this is an area many of those within the SFI community would like to learn more and interact more on this. So that is why we are taking this trajectory. And I hope it will be valuable for every one of us as we go through this. I'll come back to the structure again later on, but the structure we have is that we will have workshops like we have now, and then a week after that, we will have consultations because some of you may have questions, may have needs, may have decisions you would like to make and you want to get some clarifications. So the first Friday of every month, we'll be having um, um, consultations. So please bear with us, and I believe that you would get something from this. Okay. If there is any change in any of the times, we'll let you know time. So the idea is the consultations that come after the workshop would be based on what we have covered in the workshop. For instance, the consultation next week will be around the things we have discussed today. But of course, you are free to come with other issues. So it's going to be group consultations, and if there is any need for individual level, we are not promising that we can plan for that, but it's going to be primarily individual level consultation. We'll have 2 hours to work on that. Okay, so the series we are running this year is Career Talks 101. Career Talks 101. One thing that is clear is that many of us go make career decisions, and we only discover when we have got into the career that perhaps it's not actually what we want. All right. And then you discover that you have spent so much time, you have wasted time, you would have used the time to maybe focus on other aspect, maybe develop skills that may help you in other professions. All right, this is a common thing. And then at the same time, you have spent time, the chronological time, that is your age is is um is also in, uh, increasing, okay? And so the older you become, um, it also affects your employability. Employability. So this is a common thing, and that is why it is important, usually for us to have decision, informed decision. Um, that is it. That is something that is good in every aspect of life. Informed decision. So that is really the objective of the whole series we are having in this career talks, to provide you with insight into the academic, or you can call it science career, that will help you first, if you have not made a decision to go into it, to be able to make that decision with necessary information. And if you are into it, um, which may depend on your duration, your time in the academic career. If you're into it, it may also help you to know things to watch out for, um, um, decisions you need to make, the choices you need to make, how to navigate. So it's important for every one of us to have such kind of insight. You may be in your own corner, you're facing one challenge or the other, and you may not be in a situation that you can get reliable um, advice from your colleagues, and you're just in a limbo. So it is important that um, you have some information that can help you navigate certain decision. So with this introductory words, I welcome you to this new series SFI has introduced, and I am very much looking forward to going through it with you, and we can learn from each other. Please invite your friends, invite your colleagues, so that we can all benefit from this. What I used to do during the tips and tricks is to send you out to breakout sessions. Today, I wouldn't do that, but perhaps in the coming editions, we may have time to interact within ourselves. So today is academic or science career. What is in it for me? What is in it for me? And I would like to ask, is there anyone here who is not already an academician, regardless of the level you are, or a scientist, and maybe considering whether to venture into it or not? Is there anyone here? Or we are all in it? Is there anyone here who is not in it, and is, you can just raise your hand? Let me see. Okay, it appears we are all in it. All right. We are all in it. Okay. So now since we are all in it, let me ask, is there anyone who doesn't like it, who is not satisfied? Who is not satisfied? You can give me a thumbs up if that is your situation. Okay. Nobody? Is there anyone who loves it wholeheartedly? I just love it. I can't do without it. In fact, if you take me out, regardless of the amount of salary you pay me, I will still remain here. Is there anyone who feels like that? My goodness, nobody's. You see that they are not hearing me? Oh, okay. I see one person. I see one person. My goodness. Money is important. I see one hand, two hands. All right. Is there anyone who is neither here or there? I don't know. I'm not sure. If I get a better opportunity, I may change my mind and I move to another sector. Is there anyone here who is? It depends. Is there any it depends person here? All right. At least I can see one hand. So the other persons, thank you very much. Okay, I can see two hands. We are several here. So the other persons, what is your situation then? You're neither here or there. What? Mm. Our word is not a word where you don't have any choice. You have to have a choice. So somebody who is here now, and then your president in your country, maybe I don't know the field you are, and invites you to become a minister in that field. You will still remain at the university. Is that what it means? Or you will jump to it? Anyway, these decisions are not easy decisions. Okay, they are not easy decisions. To be frank with you, and justice. Um, to tell you that making career choices um, are not easy decisions. And that reiterates what I said before. It requires informed choices. Okay, so academic career, what is in it for me? What is in it for me? Many of us end up choosing what we choose because that is the only option available to us. Yeah. Is there anyone here who is in the academia and that is just because that is only option you have? Is there anyone here who is in that situation? That is my only option. That is because it's my only option. Anyone here? Okay. All right. Hmm. Okay. Let's go then. Okay. So, um, as I said, there will be a workshop and then there will be consultations. Consultations. All right. So, in terms of terms, academic and scientists or science are used interchangeably here. They are used interchangeably here. Um, recognizing that the academic is a bigger umbrella. Okay, it's a bigger umbrella. Science or scientist more or less used to describe a subset of those who are more inclined to research. Okay? But here it's this definition, an academic career refers to the professional journey of individuals in the academic field, encompassing critical thinking, learning, and communication skills essential for engaging with various disciplines through research, writing, and teaching. So you can see it. And so here you have teachers included. You have um, um, researchers included. You have learners included. You have communicators included. And this can involve various disciplines, various disciplines. So that is what we have um, as academic career. All right. So it's defined here as a journey. A journey. So career describes a journey, professional journey you have taken. All right. Where it ends may not be clear in the beginning, but every one of us have ambition. All right. Every one of us has ambition. It's not the case that we all get to that ambition. Many who enter into the academia, depending on the track they are taking, may want to end up as being professors. That is their ambition. Some may want to end up as top managers, administrators in the academia. Some may just want to be scientists, just scientists, do research and derive satisfaction from it. Okay, some may be happy just being teachers, or I will call it sometimes lecturers, and for them that is enough. And sometimes it may be as a result of when you actually entered into it. All right, if you enter into it in your early years and you strive to do well, then there is a likelihood that you will get um, um, to your desired ambition. Okay? Your desired ambition. And what happens is that it may be that even within the academia there, people can transition from one role, from one discipline, from one task to the other. Those are possibilities. Those are possibilities. Okay? So in that case, you don't need to be inflexible. There are levels of flexibility that are required because you never know. Regardless of that, I think what happens is that we all have our different strengths, all right, that can determine how you move. All right, so what is the purpose? What impact does the academic career create? The first one is that the four walls of the academia, you may define it as a university, you may define it as college, you may define it as a research institute, you may define it in different ways. The first task of the academia is to generate knowledge. To generate knowledge. That knowledge can come from research, primarily. All right? And this knowledge we generate within the four walls of the university or research institution or college is then transported into the larger society to be used. For instance, you have agriculture. Africa is suffering so much from agriculture, from food scarcity, even though we are so blessed. And the question is, why is it that we are in that situation? Okay? It is the responsibility of the academia to look for solution for that. Generate knowledge and transport it into society, and people can make use of that knowledge. Perhaps if it requires developing products, then you have the industry that can take that knowledge that has been generated and develop it into tangibility. So the first task there, first purpose there is to generate knowledge. And this calls for question of those who are there. Because as I said, some people get into careers and then they discover they don't know even why they are there. And they begin to ask themselves, but I'm not sure this is really what I want to do. And so there's no consideration of why they have gone to that place. What is the purpose of their being there? Okay, so it's important to ask ourselves, how much knowledge are we generating? How much knowledge are we generating? How much knowledge are you generating? How much knowledge is your university generating? If the academia moves from knowledge generation to become knowledge consumption primarily, then it's not a good sign. It's not a good sign. The first purpose is to generate knowledge. All right? It can also consume its own knowledge, it develop. But the first is to generate knowledge. The second is to impact knowledge. To impact knowledge. Many universities, many institutions in Africa, for instance, all right, nowadays focus on impacting knowledge. The aspect of knowledge generation is lacking. But do you know that any society, wherever you go and people generate knowledge, knowledge becomes tangible in data. Those who own the data are those who determine the agenda of what happens in the world. Okay? But many institutions today focus on impacting knowledge, teaching. Teaching is their primary thing. Just teach, just teach. Research is secondary. That is problematic because you lack in the key essential purposes of the academia to generate knowledge. All right? And then impact society. Both the knowledge generated and the impacting knowledge combine to impact the society. Okay? And in that respect, I like this UNESCO mantra I always use, that science is the greatest, and that is the aspect of research in science, or I mean in academia, the aspect of research is the greatest collective endeavor. This is a call to action. All right? Impact society. We can also impact society by developing the manpower across sectors. The lawyers we have today are from the academia. The doctors we have today are from the academia. The agriculturists we have today are from the academia. The pastors and the imams, they are from the academia. So the society is saturated with products from the academia. And this is many academics or academicians do not see themselves up to this light. Many times they see themselves as what? As pitiable. But you can see that when you look at it carefully, the society cannot exist without the academia. True or false? Do you agree with that? I think that is true. Because in well-educated societies, you cannot exist without passing through the four walls of the academia. You can't exist. You can't exist. You are not permitted. You are not permitted. For instance, in this part of the world I am in Sweden here, the minimum required compulsory. It's not optional. And this is whether you are disabled, you have special needs or not. It doesn't matter. The minimum required is that you have to finish from, you have to attend high school. You have to attend high school. If you don't, it's a problem. It's compulsory. It's not optional. High school is the minimum. Then after that, you can choose what you want to do. You want to go to upper high school, and maybe after that you go to university, or you go to go and learn handwork or that. But you have to have that. My my late dad, what he used to tell me when I was young, he was not educated. He was at that time. Um, I don't know the equivalent it will be because education was quite much more of higher quality at the time. So he was not educated he didn't even go to high school. He finished from the lower level. And then he went to work. And one of the things he was telling me is that he said it was when I got there. His dad died when he was 4 years. And so nobody could take care of him. His mother could not. So he struggled. And so when he started working, he told me that he suffered quite a lot in the hands of those who were educated. Mostly, they were younger than him. And so they tossed him up and down. And then he said he realized the importance of education. And he vowed, he said, education is empowerment. I will ensure that my children get education. If not for anything, so that they can defend their right. So education is empowerment. And this empowerment is generated from the academia. It is we who empower people. It is we who keep the society going. All right. Well, I don't need to say this much, but I think it's common that many times we forget this aspect. The task, what do? We teach, we research, we mentor, we supervise, we speak. People go to conferences. Sometimes even the society may invite you to come and testify based on your expert knowledge. Sometimes you may be a lawyer, maybe a doctor, you may be different kinds of persons with different profession, and they invite you. We have this issue. Please come and tell us because you're an expert. All right. Or you go to conferences, you speak, or you're invited in different fora to come and speak. All right. We are faculties as well as sometimes we are we are called, and you have adjuncts, those who are not uh, um, primarily with us, but can interact with us. Librarians, we administer, we manage. There could be other task that we have. So these are some of our, or most of our tasks. The career paths. And I hope you get the point I'm making this afternoon. And I was speaking that there are those who are in a situation, they are still considering whether they want to go to the academia or they don't want to. Okay? So this series will help you today. And for those who are in it already, it can help to reinforce your situation. It can support you to grow and grow in the right way. When we come in the next edition, I will emphasize a lot about strategy. From next edition, we'll talk about strategy because you need to grow and grow well. Okay? You need to meet your milestones. You need to ensure that you are achieving your ambitions. But strategy is important. Now, this is from here, university in Sweden here, career path. So you have doctoral studentship in Sweden here. Doctoral students are staff of the university. So doctoral education in Sweden is employment. Okay, even though they are doctoral students, but is defined as employment. So they are automatically staff of the university. So from there, you go and you have 2 to 3 years postdoc opportunity. And then after that, you come, that takes you, you become an associate senior lecturer. All right, from associate senior lecturer, you go to become a senior lecturer in Sweden. And from senior lecturer, you become professor. So in Sweden, senior lecturer precedes professorship. So things like associate professor, as you may have it in the American system, is not a common place in Sweden, even though it is coming in now. And usually, the associate professor thing comes around here. Okay? After your senior lecturer, you get the associate, what Swedish call associate professor, and then you become a senior lecturer. Yeah, without the associate professor here, you can't become a senior lecturer in Sweden, and then you become a full professor. And as you see here, the senior lecturer position and the professorship position are the permanent positions in Sweden. Below that, they are temporary positions in Sweden. All right? Senior lecturer and professorship in Sweden are the permanent position. Okay? So you move from senior lecturer to become. This is difficult to get. As you can imagine, it's difficult. So this is the career path in Sweden. Now, if you go to the UK, let me go back to Sweden. I want to mention something. Let me go back to Sweden here. So you can see this is 4 years when you start your doctoral degree. And 4 plus 3 is, somebody's annotating my screen now. Somebody is annotating my, sorry, let me stop sharing this, but somebody is annotating my screen. Well, that is the thing with the academicians. Their hands are always doing something. It's difficult to keep their hands stable. Maybe because they write on the board. And so this person comes in here now and start annotating my screen. Let me see if I can, yeah, disable annotation. All right, so this is 4, 7. If you take this up to the maximum, 6, which is common. Well, let's take the minimum. You take minimum 4, 7 years, 11 years. And from this senior lecturer, some people retire here. Some people don't. I mean, most people retire here. They don't end as professors. Okay, and so it can take some people from 1 year when they become senior lecturer to become professor to as long as maybe depends on how old they are. Maybe 20 years. It can be up to that. So that is why you don't see them putting years here. So this is 7 and 11. And if you stay here 5 years, that will be 16. If you stay longer, it may get up to 20. So the point is that from your doctoral degree to you become a professor may take you up to 20 years. Okay? Or even more, depending on how the process goes for you. When you finish your doctoral degree, it may take you up to 15 years. It may take you up to 20 years before you become a professor. You may actually not end up as a professor in your career. Okay? This is um um how this is in Sweden. And as I said, because these are the permanent positions here in Sweden, it is quite competitive and challenging. All right, it's quite competitive. It's not easy to get a permanent position for that reason. Okay, so this is UK, and they have different phases. I think up to 4 phases. So you have the doctoral students. From there, you go to teaching assistant, research assistant here. Okay, they call this level formal dependence. And then you have phase 2, you have the junior researcher, you have the junior researcher, you have the researcher, you have the lecturer, okay, and you continue in that way. And then you have the senior lecturer or senior researcher, okay? And yeah, the UK can be quite complicated. And then from there, from senior lecturer, UK also from senior lecturer, you go to full professorship from senior lecturer. You go to full professor. Although in some situations you have what they call reader. Reader is more or less coming from the aspect of research, and senior lecturer mostly from those who are lecturers themselves. All right. And so you have full professorship. And so from the time you start your doctoral degree, what they are saying is that it can take you between 14 and 20 years plus to get your professorship in the UK. And that aligns with what I showed you from Sweden. Because those who enter into academia, most often the ambition is to end up as professors, because that is the highest echelon of the hierarchy of academic positions. That is the highest you can get to. In Sweden here, they have the post they call senior professor. And these are those who have retired as professors, but are also working in university. So what they do is they apply for funding for their research, and then the university employs them, and they use the funding they have got to pay their own salary. Okay, so they pay themselves through the universities, so they are affiliated to university. But here you can see it's a typical proportions of researchers. you have phase 4, the professors, 8%. 8%. 55% are those undergoing their PhD and their research assistants. All right. And so you can see the more you go in the phases, the smaller they become. So it means that if we have 1,000 of us today pursuing that, only few of us, well, let's say 100 of us are pursuing um academic career. Only 8 of us may eventually become professors. Only 8 of us may eventually become professors. All right. So that is the UK. And the US, you have also here the different roles, yeah, and how they move, whether it is librarian, scholar track, librarian track, clinical research track. This can take this shape. And the time duration is not so much different. It's not so much different from place to place. And so for those who are considering, or those who are young, you have to consider this. And consider it vis-a-vis your age. Your age. All right? Okay. So I think that helps you to make that decision. The remuneration, how much you are paid. How much you are paid. I recruited a postdoc several years back, and he is a data scientist, a mathematician, computer scientist, and he was working in the industry where he's paid 2 times what the academia pays. What the good news, what do I say good news? Is that the academia pays much less than industry, much less. And if you compare them to maybe government works and all that, depending on the place you are, they are really moderate. The academia is moderate. Okay? Academia is moderate. So he came, and I was asking him, my goodness, you know, when you join us, your salary will be half of what you used to receive. Of course, we need to negotiate that, because it's not that easy. But what moved him to academia, and he has remained in academia up till now, he said the freedom, he loves research, the community of the academia, and what he decided. Okay. But the point here is that the academia pays much less than the industry. I can see salaries, academia versus industry, whether it's in Asia, whether it's in Europe, whether it's North America, whether it's in Japan, whether it's in the United Kingdom, whether it's in the United States, from place to place, the difference may depend on place. For instance, you can see that the absolute difference here in the UK is smaller than compared to the US or to North America combined. All right, but the academia pays much less. Here it says public institutions have less money to spend and more researchers chasing every job. Industry scientists are more positive than those in academia. Why? Because money is sweet. Money is sweet. People like money, of course. Money makes your life easy, isn't it? So why wouldn't they be more positive than those? Well, I started by saying our purpose and our impact, and I was asking the question, um, who would remain in academia no matter what in this workshop we're having? And most of you raised their hand. Anyway, I know that is not easy because if I come to you and I give you, I can pull you out. I give you some mouth-watering cash. Some of you will say, "Well, I will resign because money is good." But we have a higher call, and I think yes, money is good. I think with that higher call we have, the purpose and impact we make should be a very strong motivation. This is my postdoc. It was really encouraging to see somebody who will um, give up the pleasure of the cash he's receiving for a more convincing um, um, contribution he wants to make to the society. Okay, the competition. All right, the competition. Professors eat their own young. How competition can stifle good science. There is often more pressure for scientists to work against each other than together. But why? Yes, it's competitive. I don't know about your own context where you're working, but the academic work is competitive. So if you're stepping into academic career, know that it is competitive. Competitive in terms of getting funding, competitive in terms of faculty positions, being promoted or getting positions is competitive. Competitive in terms of publication, there are different aspects of competition that comes from the academia. Yes. Okay. And this level of competitions can also vary from place to place. Competition in academia is so vicious because the stakes are so small. But if we talk about competition, competition can be positive. It can also be negative. The competition that is being spoken here is negative. Okay? This one here by Lawrence can be positive and as well negative. Positive and as well negative. But I will still go back to our purpose. So whether you're in the competition or not, you have to know the purpose for why you are doing what you're doing. Because that can really keep you in check, help you to to control some instincts. All right, I am here to add value to my society. I'm here to support my society. I'm here to mentor people. I'm here to make them see things in different light. That can keep you in check. That can keep you in check. Okay, so you have to know that it is not all bed of roses. There is high competition. The joys, the joys and the yeah, that one is not right. Let me clarify that before you are confused. But the point here is that there is also joy in the academia, and there is also cry in the academia. The joys and the cries. Well, joy comes from, well, I got my grant, I received my tenure, my article is published, I get my promotion, I am recognized, I receive an award, I have established collaborations and other milestones. I have earned my doctoral degree, my PhD student has graduated, and so on and so forth. But also, we cry. We cry when the grant fails, when the tenure is rejected, when the article is rejected. Is there anybody who has had both of these? Maybe those who are have advanced. Anybody who has had both of these? The times you have been joyful, the times you have cried. Only one person. I don't think so. I can't believe that. Okay, two persons. Okay, three persons. Somebody needs to tell me something. Okay. Is there anyone who has had only this? Only joys. Only joys. That is all you have had. Is anyone here? Is anyone has said only cries? Oh, no, that will not be good. That will not be good if it's only cries. Then you know that your village people are doing something behind the scene. Okay. The positives and the negative attitudes. The academia requires attitude. There is a common saying that your attitude determines your attitude. Attitude is so important in life. And this goes to every profession. One of those is passion. One of those is passion. Your passion should resonate so much that it's in your voice. It is in your walking. It is in your seeing. It is in your interaction. It can be infectious. All right? Positive attitudes and negative attitudes. So some people are flower distributors where they are working. And what I mean by that is that they are the one who catch the news. They are the one who tell. They are the one who bring the tea and the coffee. They are the one who say this. And you know what? Before you know it, they remain in that position. Their work is to distribute flowers. That is a negative attitude. Very negative. All the talks that are around the corridor, they are have you heard about, did you hear what this person said? My goodness. But positive attitude to remain successful in academia. Have your passion. Be curious. Appreciate ignorance. Appreciate failure. Have persistence. Ignorance and failure are important as tools to groom you in difficult times. Appreciate them. Patience, creativity, networking, flexibility, communicative. Be humble, be hungry. But things like pessimism, negative self-talk, gossips, blame game. Oh, if not that you send it to me late, they wouldn't have rejected my paper. Blame games, negative competition that will make people not to collaborate. Comparing yourself to others, unrealistic expectations, lack of perseverance. For success, attitude is equally as important as ability. Yeah. And I was reading somewhere in LinkedIn sometime, it said that employers nowadays look more for people who have positive attitude than the skills. My goodness. Why? Because they know if they capture you, you have positive attitude, they know they can impact the skills. But no matter how much skill somebody has and you have a negative attitude, you are bad for the job. The point here is that the academic career requires some attitudes. All right. Our time is almost up, but I just wanted today to highlight some aspect of this journey for those who are yet to make up their mind, for those who are in it to reinforce it. Perhaps you are in it already, but you don't know some of the things, and you're eating yourself up. You're not achieving your goals. Why? Because maybe you are not informed. All right, that is the goal, so that you can decide what is in it for me. Academic career, what is in it for me? I've talked about competition. Talked about the salary, the task, the joys, the cries, the attitudes, the time of the journey. You have to put all this into account. So this journey of 6 editions, what I will be doing from next edition is to use the building structure framework to build this strategy of going to success, shine in the academic career. It requires strategy. It requires strategy. All right. So second edition, we'll be talking about the foundation. Third edition, we'll be talking about the structures. Fourth edition, we'll be talking about the roof. All right. Fifth edition, the decorations. And of course, sixth edition, so on. As I mentioned, the workshops will be last Fridays of every other month. All right. So since January, the next workshop will be in March. But in February, it will be the consultations, where we now open the mics, we talk to each other, we discuss our challenges, we get feedback, we get support. So we have scheduled the first consultation to be next Friday. If anything changes, we'll let you know. But I encourage you, those who are experienced, those who are not experienced, come. Let's share together. We can learn from you. Okay? Even if I'm not facing that experience, that I've heard it, can help me to avoid that mistake in the future. So please join us. Some truths. Your first job might most likely not be tenured. All right? So it may not be permanent. Okay? Be patient. That is what you need. The system may resist your innovativeness. You want to bring change that is positive, and the system says no, and they put barriers for you. Be patient and be persistent. All right? Many meetings and administrative tasks will come your way, and I know many of you are facing that. Be innovative and learn the skill of multitasking. Imposter syndrome is real. Okay, social media nowadays, people are putting things there. They have done this, they have done that. In fact, I have encountered numerous situations where people, their CV is full of this, they write, but when you bring them to the job, they cannot do it. What they have said about themselves is nonsense. They can't do it. Okay, please be real. No pretense. Be humble. All right. Egos are huge in the academia. Title carriers. Sometimes people would not want you to call them by their names. Call me doctor. You know, I'm a doctor. I'm a professor. Goodness me, those titles do not do the job. I have met many doctors and professors who cannot even defend who they are. So let's reduce the ego. But for you entering there, you know that egos are very high. So focus on value, focus on impact. Compromising your integrity. You may be pushed to compromise your integrity. Virtue you need is focus on the value and the impact. The next edition will be First is First, a solid foundation. That is the last Friday of March. So please join us. And then, as I said, next week will be the first career audit consultation. Another program we have introduced. This will be happening on Sunday. Collaboration to Impact. This one we are planning to make it also very practical. We are planning to make it very practical. So please join us on Sunday. This career talks and the seminar series are linked. The seminar series sessions will make you to grow in groups. So on Sunday, we are going to be establishing the collaborative group research groups. Okay. And what we want to do is that people will be in their group we establish on Sunday and they will work with their groups going forward. A lot of things will be happening in those groups. Mentoring, research, growing together, and we'll see what the groups become in December. We'll see what they become. We'll have a support system for them. Okay, so please join us on Sunday as we start on that journey. And just to remind you that the course, systematic reviews and meta-analysis application is still going on. And then today ends the call Women in Science in Contemporary Africa. We are happy that we have received several submissions, interesting submissions across the continent. So please, if you have not submitted, join the bandwagon. Today is the last day. We are not extending it again. All right. And of course, SFI is open to continuous manuscript submission. Please continue to make use of the platform. Thank you very much, everyone. This afternoon, sorry I've taken 5 minutes of your time, but I believe that you understand, especially when you came late, those who came late. Okay, thank you, and have a wonderful weekend. See you on Sunday and next week. Let me see. Yeah, I muted you, but yeah, you can mute your.
Thank you, Prof.
So, thank you.
Thank you, Prof. We really appreciate
Thank you very much, Prof.
We're so grateful.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very
God
much.
bless you.
More and more.
late, but I'm happy the
You are
much I
making
follow.
difference, Prof.
I'm happy about
It
it.
gets better every day.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you very much, Prof.
Thank you.
God bless you.
You are just wonderful.
Thank you very much, Professor.
You.
Wright.
Thank you. Thank you.